That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Facer Hill Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by OG Tony and Big Glenn. Yeah, I guess some of the part-timers decided not to come on tonight.
Well,
shit, and they think I'm the part-timer.
Yeah, but Marcus is
Marcus is on vacation.
Hey,
he's on vacation.
He deserves a vacation after missing out on some wrestling these last few months. So I know he having the time of his life.
Yeah, he's heading to Pigeon Forge and go see some wrestling in Kentucky. He's gonna have a good time. So hopefully they stay healthy and everything goes good for them. Also, Justin's missing tonight, and he's in the middle of a storm where he lives, and no power, and there's been tornadoes on the ground close to his area. So hopefully he stays safe. He might be on with us later for the 10 o'clock show. We'll be doing Gonzo's Sports Room. He said he might, as long as he has got power, he's planning on coming on. But you never know when your power goes out, you never know when it might come back on.
If he's in the area that I think that he is, he may not actually be on tonight because of the power situation. Because you know those rural counties and stuff.
Yeah, you never know. That's true. Well, guys, let's jump into it. We're going to start off with TNA last Thursday. I watched that show. Last week's show that was really good. This week's show wasn't quite as strong. Had the hometown man upset, Frankie Kazarian. We had Mr. Elegance make his debut against I think he's 76 years old, Action Mike Jackson. I remember watching him in the 80s. He was not even a mid-card guy. He was more of a jobber. Always put on good matches, but he's still wrestling today at age 76. And he walks the top rope like the Undertaker does, but he's a little guy. But he got beat by Mr. Elegance in Mr. Elegance's debut match. We had the Angel Warriors taking on Dana Luna and Ariana Grace. Ariana Grace is the TNA Ladies World Champion, but the Angel Warriors did beat them in tag team action. Match of the night for me was Moose taking on Brian Myers. Moose is really being pushed right now, taking in his feud with Myers and all those guys. So I think he's doing pretty well. That was match of the night. And then also had Elena Black defeating Jada Stone in a pretty good quality ladies match. TNA was decent. I'm going to give it a 7. Last week I give it an 8. This week a 7, not quite as strong. Let's jump into SmackDown. That's normally the show that Justin Terrell does, but I'm going to help him out tonight since he's not here. I also watched that show. I thought SmackDown was a pretty solid show. I give it about an 8. I liked it. Match of the night for me was Carmelo and Dragunov. Anytime them two guys wrestle, it's going to be strong. Some other things happened on the show. Big thing, and it was solid too, was Priest and R-Truth winning the WWE Tag Team Champions from the MFTs. So that's kind of big for Priest. And the big thing about that, guys, was that Priest didn't know they was going to win. They didn't tell him. R-Truth knew. He got the pin. But you guys go back and watch that clip. Priest had no idea that they were going to win that match. He was completely shocked.
Especially the placement of the match on the card. It's one of those you kind of think that maybe R-Truth and Damien was going to win just yet, and they would pick the win to get the belts at Mania for their Mania moment. But because it was right at that 9 o'clock hour, I'm like, oh, maybe MFT is going to find a bullshit win or something like that. So great to see it though.
We also had Drew and Jacob Fatu from the start of the show to the middle of the show to the end of the show, destroying each other. They end up going off like a almost like a building or something at the end, right at the end of the show, and falling to the ground. But they had like a fence up
Yeah.
from the camera angle, so you of course can see what they're falling into.
You
Or
know,
what on
Tony, what that reminded me of was that meme from SpongeBob where Squidward's up there in his building and he's looking down at SpongeBob and Patrick and stuff, you know, with Nick Aldis watching Plot 2 and Drew jumping off the ledge.
But we'll talk more about Drew and Jacob at the end of the show because I'm hearing some things about that, where they're going. Also, kind of I don't know if it was a surprise or not, but Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley had another face-off, and at the end, Mi Chen and B-Fab came out, and a lot of people thought, they was coming out to not let Jade take off and make her get back in the ring with Rhea Ripley. Well, they all three got in the ring, and they completely destroyed Rhea Ripley, and now formed an alliance. So I think that'll help Jade. I think Jade's got the look. I think when she had a group in AEW, she was stronger because she had a group called the Baddies in AEW. I think this group's called the Takeover or something like that. But I think that will help her. I think it'll help intensify the feud and should make things interesting. Also, we had Randy Orton have been giving Matt Cardona a hard time. And at the end of the show, he said he was going to apologize to Matt Cardona. Instead, he completely destroyed Matt Cardona. So I thought it was a really good show. I thought it was a solid show. I love the Drew and the Jacob thing, start to middle to finish. I like when they do that kind of thing. Pretty good show. Chris, let's move on to Sunday Night Raw.
I'm muting shit. No, I thought Raw was a pretty good show. You can tell her still trying to get everything set up for WrestleMania. I thought Obi and Lesnar was great again, with Obi taking Lesnar out. Theory and Paul defeated the Usos with some help from LA Knight. That was an okay match. Although Usos just aren't the same as they used to be. They're slowed down a little bit, in my opinion. I thought Javon Evans was impressive again. That dude bounces around that ring like crazy. Bailey and Lyra defeated the Kabuki Warriors. Looks like they're going to try and maybe go after tag team to maybe try to get into WrestleMania. The Punk and Reigns thing was all right. You had, of course, you had Reigns attack Punk this time, so you're getting some of that physicality that Warren was talking about.
Yep.
So I thought it was good. I thought Rollins attacking Heyman and getting arrested that had me rolling. But no, I thought it was a pretty solid show. I'd probably give it right around the 8.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show. I liked the Brock Lesnar and the Oba Femi stuff again. I thought that was well done. They're making Oba look like $1 million, man. And we'll talk about that Oba and Brock Lesnar thing towards the end of the show also. What would you think about Seth Rollins getting arrested? Him and Paul Heyman having words, and Paul had put a restraining order on him, and he ended up attacking Paul because some of the stuff Paul was saying, and he goes out and cuffs. So what was your take on that?
Sorry, what was that? I was reading something.
You can't read and listen at the same time. What the hell's wrong with you?
Apparently not. I didn't catch what you said.
What do you think about
that Reds opening day loss is messing with him right now?
What'd you think of Seth Rollins getting arrested? Paul Heyman had put a restraining order on him, and he ends up getting arrested at the
I talked about the show. I thought that was good. It had me. I was laughing, but no, I like that segment. I thought it was good. Attacking Heyman, and then like you said, he got arrested. Is he going to show up at the next show, or is he still going to be in jail?
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with this because you don't know. The rumor is Braun Breaker's going to be back. Now, are they going to announce a match at WrestleMania for them too, or they're going to end up having a surprise match, or they're going to end up both interfering in a match? I don't know where they're quite going with this. I'm liking it though. The thing about the Punk and Roman thing that I liked was kind of a different dynamic with Jey Uso kind of calling the shots a little bit in a way and urging Roman to destroy CM Punk.
Get him, Joe.
Yeah, get him, Joe, from outside the ring. So I thought that was a little different spin. I like that. There was a lot of stuff I liked about Raw. I also give it an 8. I give SmackDown an 8. But I'm going to give the nod to Raw over SmackDown barely. I thought the wrestling was better on SmackDown, but the Brock Lesnar over Femi thing, man, is just I'm really liking that right now. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of storylines. I know people complaining, well, they only had 3 or 4 matches, and guys, one of these days you're going to realize it ain't about the matches.
Yeah, Vinny, I just done that like 3 days ago. Yep. I just decided about 3 days ago I was shaving everything off.
Yep.
Vinny said call him when WCW comes back.
Okay. Well, he's probably going to be waiting a long time. Okay, guys. Again, I thought Raw was pretty solid. Let's move on to some NXT with Big Glenn.
NXT was amazing as always. Obviously, they're setting up their big shows for next Tuesday at the Madison Square Garden Theater. I know they call it a different name, but it's always going to be Madison Square Garden Theater to me, obviously, even though I'm not from New York. But anyways, we had Johnny Gargano return last night or on Tuesday. He is now the #1 contender for the North American Championship. He'll be going up against the I believe Miles Bourne at Takeover, or not Takeover, but Stand and Deliver. Yep. We had Kalani Jordan versus Thea Hale. Kalani Jordan got the win. Ren QCC. Ren and Kendall Gray defeated Phil Influence, Fallon Henley, and Laney Reed. Los Americanos, Rayo, and Bravo. That was a pretty good match, and that's pretty much all that I caught.
Okay. Yeah, NXT was a solid show. I didn't think it was as strong as last week. They got a big show coming up in New York next week, next Tuesday. I think it's going to be really
they are going on. Yeah, they are going on the road a lot these next few weeks up from my nose.
And then, of course, St. Louis is Stand and Deliver on the April 4th. So it should be pretty good. It should be interesting. I give NXT a 7 this week. I didn't think it was quite as strong. 7.5. So I didn't think it was quite as strong as last week's show, but I thought it was a decent show.
It was a lot better than AEW. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, well, we'll get ready to talk about that. Me and Chris both watched AEW.
Hey, it's nice to hear from you as well, Vinny.
Yeah, I thought that was Vinny with the purple fedora.
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't seen him in a while.
He's been off the grid. Hopefully he's doing well, Vinny's. Well, just like I talked about, I think it was Monday night when we was talking about some of the best heels we've seen in the independent scene, man. That was the guy I brought up was Vinny, man. Vinny, his the way he presented himself and the way he did things, man, it was just awesome. Talked about that past Monday night on the GWR show for independent wrestling. Well, Chris, let me and you talk a little bit about this AEW that happened last night. What'd you think?
It was all right. But to me, the best thing on the show was MJF. When he came out, he done the promo. But it wasn't too bad. I thought the Swerve and Omega match at the beginning to open the show, it was a decent match. It was just it was a couple of the spots that they were trying to do just took too long. The timing was off a little bit. It seemed like it took too long to get to. Like the one time they were up on that top turnbuckle standing there trying to get their balance. It seemed like I know it wasn't 5 minutes, but it seemed like it was fucking 5 minutes. And then they were out there on that barricade trying to stand on it. and lost their balance and then got back up there. I did like the pile driver that Swerve did on that did on the guardrail outside when they did get back up there. But it seemed like the timing was just a little off in some spots where it took them a little too long to get to it. But I thought that was a decent match. They had Kenny Omega on there talking too much. Like Kenny Omega's, I understand he's a great wrestler, but he's also slowed down a little bit since he had his illness in the ring. But he's never been known for his mic work. And then you have him 3 or 4 times on the show talking. So I thought that was a little bit weird. Like I understand if you have a guy like that should be like MJF. If you're gonna have somebody out there 3 times talking, you need somebody out there that's good on the mic and is more comfortable on the mic. That's not Omega's thing. So I thought that was a little weird to have him out there or have him on the mic so much during the show. But I'd give it probably about a 6.5, 7. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It was.
I usually don't go below 6. Last week I give it a 6. Last week's show probably deserved worse than that, but I give it a 6. This one was better, so I'm gonna give it about the same as you, about 6.5 or 7. Omega and Swerve Strickland wasn't what I thought it would be, and it was. And I didn't understand this. You had a great big segment the week before with Swerve talking about that he wanted to become the EVP and he wanted to win this. He wanted power, and you would think this was going to be a big match, and you put it on the opening match of the show, and then in your main event you got Darby Allin taking on Roosh, which I like Roosh from back the Ring of Honor days of 4, 5, 6 years ago. I really liked Roosh, but they've done nothing with Roosh. He hadn't been on AEW Dynamite in a long time. He was been on Collision, but I mean, why is he in the main event? And why was it called just a no count out match? Why would you call a match a no count out? Just call it what it is, a no DQ match.
And another thing I didn't understand: John Moxley is the Continental Champion.
Yeah.
Why the hell does he care? Why is he carrying his title? Why is the one? Why is the one wrestler? What's his name? Carrying around Moxley's title? Like, to me, that makes no sense at all. If you're a champion, you're supposed to have the title with you when you come to the ring.
Well, when he was the world champion, they kept it in a briefcase and kept it hid away from everybody when he was the world champion.
Like, that made no sense. Because it came out, I was like, I thought he was champion. And I realized the one guy I can't think of his name now. One of the guys was carrying it around. I'm like,
Moxley must be saving it for later.
Yeah, but to me, that's diminishing the title. Like,
yeah,
the champ's supposed to have that title, like, and holding it proud, like it means something. And when the champ ain't even carrying the title, to me, that is, I don't know. To me, it diminishes the title some. A guy that's not the champ shouldn't be running around the outside the ring the whole time with the damn title.
You know what's funny though about all that is if Marcus was covering AEW and stuff, man, he'd be having a freaking field day with that right now. They need to be carrying the titles like they should be carrying them, not no briefcase and not in somebody else's hands or whatever,
I get what you're saying, Vinny, but the way they done this, they were letting them use weapons, do whatever they wanted. So they should have just made it a no DQ match instead of a no count out.
Well, but every match is a no count out match, pretty much. Let's go back to the Kenny Omega Swerve Strickland match. 2 times during that match, they were outside, and they were outside for 2 minutes each time. So I mean, and the referee looks like a fool. They do that a lot, but they did it twice in that match, and then they do a lot of action in their matches. They put a lot of moves, a lot of spots. But a lot of stuff just don't make sense. There's no selling. Oh, at the end of that match last night with Roosh and Darby Allin, Darby Allin's beating the crap out of him on the outside and does a drop kick off the top rope, knocks Roosh into the desk, throws him back in, and Roosh kicks out at a 1 count and stands straight up.
Yeah.
Come on. And then gets pinned 30 seconds later. But it just...
Well, if I remember right, during that Moxley match, the one guy got hit, it seemed like, with every finisher in the book, and it didn't affect him. And then I think it was Moxley hits his thing, and boom, it's over. I'm like, it just like you got to make it make sense. And that's my biggest problem with AEW is you can have the big spots and all that, but if you don't have a story to draw me in, if you're not telling a story that gets my attention and draws me in, that's one strike against you.
Yeah.
Like, and then if you don't have a story with it and it's just flopping around and it's all gather up over here and wait 2 minutes while this guy climbs the ropes and then he's going to jump up, we're going to catch him, and then we're going to go to the other side of the ring and we're going to do it again with a different guy. Like, it don't make sense. Like, you got. I'd rather watch a match. I'd rather watch a match that's all about storytelling and maybe only have one bump in it.
Yeah.
Than to watch like 80% of what I watched last night.
Hell, there's plenty of
people off. I'm just being honest. That's my.
I gotta agree with you on that, Gonzo. You know why? Because those videos from when Omega was in Japan wrestling that freaking doll, would be better than a lot of this shit.
Well, the show, the way it was laid out, was a weird show for them. Because I watched some other podcasts I normally watch, and some of the AEW homers were kind of upset because they had too many. They had way too many promos on this show. A lot more promos than they normally do, and he said, "I didn't like it. I want more wrestling." And so I mean, the promos were laid out weird, Chris. I don't know if you noticed it. They went one part at a time. For about the middle of the show, they had back to back promos. I mean, they spent like in the middle of the show, they had like 4 or 5 promos. Just it was weird. The show was really a weird laid out show. Maybe they was trying something different.
I was glad they were doing more promos. I was glad in that. But I do agree with you. The way it was laid out was weird because it was like we're going to drop all the promos in this 15, 20 minutes in the middle of the show instead of like spacing them out. Like you could do one do a promo, do a match, have another promo or something. You don't have to have a match and then have 5 promos in a row and then go to your next match.
Okay, and another thing, guys,
and their production ain't even close to what their production on their promos. The production on them promos isn't even close to what the production on WWE's promos are. I mean, it's night and day difference watching a WWE promo and them AEW promos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the other thing, you had a squash match, which I'm not saying squash matches are bad, but they had Mike Bailey against Rocky Romero in a squash match. Rocky Romero the week before was in the main event in a 6-man tag. Now you got him getting squashed in 2 or 3 minutes by Mike Bailey. Some of the decisions don't make any sense, and I know a lot of AEW guys don't pay attention to that because they don't care about that. But as a guy that grew up with this kind of with storytelling and one thing that kind of makes sense. I know it's pro wrestling. I know you got to suspend some things. I understand that. But,
you know what this comes down to, Tony, is the old line of "What the fuck are you doing?" Because when it comes down to the booking, it's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You're booking a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, probably the strongest wrestling match last night, in my opinion, was Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy against the Dogs, against David Finlay, and I thought that was a pretty good tag team. Clark Connor. I thought that was a pretty good match. I thought it was better than the Kenny Omega match. I thought they were off. Honestly, I've heard this stuff said before, and I wonder about it. I'm not saying I know anything because I don't.
Hobo Jones.
But I'm wondering if Swerve may have had a little boo-boo face because he was going in that match and he was losing, and maybe he has no big plans for Dynasty, the pay-per-view they got coming up in a couple of weeks, because the match wasn't what I expected.
When they said that was opening the show, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good way to open the show. I was expecting a banger. I was expecting good,
and it wasn't.
And it was. I didn't get that.
Nope.
Be like ninjas used to say, the drizzle and fucking shits.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Omega can't do that anymore. I don't know what the issue was, but there was something kind of wrong with that match. Not that it was a horrible match. I'm not saying that, but it wasn't what these two guys normally can do.
Well, yeah, I've seen both of them go, and yeah, I was expecting a lot more out of it.
Yeah, I agree. Also, and if you weren't going to have Omega and them be the main event, I thought they should have had Tekla and Mina Shirakawa, the women's championship match. That should have been the main event. If they were, Darby Allin been in the main event against somebody that hadn't been on TV in a long time on Dynamite TV. They've been on Collision some. That didn't make sense to me. So yeah, I'm gonna give it about 6.5 or 7. It wasn't horrible. It was a lot better than last week's show, but it definitely, man. That since they've come off that pay-per-view that a lot of people thought was really, really good, I thought it was pretty decent. They've really, in my opinion, kind of shit the bed last couple of weeks, and they got a pay-per-view coming up on Sunday, April 12th. They've got 3 pretty good matches named for it right now. I thought Cope and Christian had a pretty good promo. Them and FTR, I thought their promos were pretty decent, but they're all veterans. They're not going to.
I didn't think Ricochet's promo was too bad.
No, it wasn't too bad.
Especially for him, because usually him talking.
He's gotten a lot better.
Isn't very good. So I thought that was a decent, pretty good promo by him.
I was going to table this, but I know Glenn didn't see it, but let's go ahead and touch on it real quick, Chris. The old school match we was going to do tonight, because I don't think it's worth waiting the next week and do it. We'll come up with something else. I'll let everybody know what it's going to be. But we did CM Punk versus Raven in a dog collar match. And I'm going to be honest, guys, not that I thought it was a bad match. It kind of got recommended to me. And I've watched a lot of dog collar matches, and maybe I'm old school. I just thought it was okay. It wasn't. I expected more. I'm just being honest with the rave reviews that I got. Chris, your thoughts?
It was a good match, but I do agree with you. I've seen better dog collar matches. To me, it shouldn't have been a dog collar match the way they booked it. A dog collar match, you should be featuring the dog collar. They brought in tables and used, which is it's fine. You want to use weapons, but to me, my favorite dog collar matches, they're using the chain as the weapon. They're using hell, almost hanging you with the dog collar, jerking you to them. Like the chain's the main thing. Where in this one, I thought they were more all over the arena. It was more about using different weapons like tables and chairs and stuff like that. It was an entertaining match, but from me hearing people talk about it, I thought it was going to be, my expectations probably were too high, because where I've heard people talk about it, they built it up, and it didn't meet those expectations for me.
No.
Like I said, to me, if you would have called it a street fight or a hardcore match, it would have came off a little bit better, because to me it didn't feature the dog collar. In a dog collar match, to me the main weapon should be the chain and the collar around the guy's neck.
Vinny, I know you don't watch, like I said, don't watch wrestling much anymore. Have you checked out the NWA? Trying to remember, I think it's on Roku. You might check out the NWA is pretty much very old school. You might like it. You might give it a try. I think you can download Roku for free, and their new shows are loaded every Tuesday night. I think I can't remember, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and they're in the middle of doing their Crockett Cup. They do a Crockett Cup every year, and they're in the middle of that. And you might check that out. You might find that interesting. It's pretty decent. Just got a few more things, guys, and we'll get out of here. Let's get your thoughts on some rumors and some stuff I've been hearing. The first one came out today. They're saying, and I'm thrilled about this, Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre right now looks like it might be Hell in a Cell. At least that's a strong rumor. Glenn, what do you think about that?
Book the son of a bitch. Hell in a Cell. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, yeah. Let's keep building this up. Yeah, I'm all for it because I think these two, if they let them go, could put on one heck of a Hell in a Cell match if they let them go. Chris, what do you think about that? Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell.
Oh, I think it'd be great, and I also think that's how the Hell in a Cell should be used. Use it at WrestleMania or at a big pay-per-view when you have a big feud that you're blowing off, not a whole pay-per-view. So yeah, I think it'll be awesome. Them two guys will beat the hell out of each other in a Hell in a Cell. I think it'll be great, and yeah, I think that's what they need to start doing. Is the Hell in a Cell should only be brought out for basically special occasions, and forget the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Just do the Hell in a Cells when you have a feud that's big enough to use that for the blow off.
Punk and McIntyre at Bad Blood in the Land a couple years ago was fucking amazing. That's a perfect example of that.
Yeah, it was, and I think this could be that. I think they could knock it out of the park if they let them get creative and go with it. I think it could be really good. Vinny, do you know if there's any tape of that anywhere? I'd like to see it. Probably not, but
maybe on VHS.
Yeah, probably. But Marcus probably got on VHS. He's got everything else on VHS.
If anybody has a video of it, it wouldn't surprise me if it was Marcus.
Yeah.
Guys, what do you think about this? The way they're booking things right now on Raw the last couple of weeks. Brock Lesnar and Obafemi.
He said
who's going to win?
He said no on the video, but lots of pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, Marcus does have some.
And Marcus, yep,
Marcus was there.
Okay, I will have to get with Marcus on that. Who's going to win this match, guys? Big Glenn, is it going to be Brock or is it going to be Oba?
The way they've been building it up, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Oba and stuff. I would hope it would be Oba because it feels like it's the right time.
Chris, what do you think?
I think somebody's going to interfere and cost Oba the match, and they're going to have a rematch at probably like SummerSlam, and Oba's going to beat Brock when Brock retires.
You think it's going to be one of those typical Brock Lesnar squash matches, but it's him getting beaten like 2 minutes.
You know, that could work because even though they've got Gunther being the guy that retire people, if Oba retires him, then he could say, I retired, and then them two could feud.
Yeah.
So that could work. That's a possibility that could work. So I could see that. I'm just worried since they've let him dominate Brock so much right now. I'm worried that you can't let Oba lose. So they got to come up with something. Oba,
if Oba loses, I think the only way he loses is somebody interferes. Which I guess. I mean, if you're going to build up, like you said, Gunther and Lesnar, I guess you could have Gunther come out and attack Lesnar or something.
I want to see.
I think you get a bigger pop and more momentum from it if Oba's going to win. If you have Oba get the fall,
Oba and Brock,
you get more from it than if you have him win not clean. I think if Oba wins, he needs to win clean.
Brock and Oba should main event night 1.
Yeah, they won't.
I wish it would.
I think they might. I think they might open the show.
2 reasons. I think they might open the show because Brock's opinion, if I ain't going to be on last, I want to be on first so I can get the hell out of there. And then the other reason is, remember, guys, the first hour of both nights are going to be on ESPN.
Yep. That'd be just like when they open with Brock and Cena.
That's why I think Oba and Lesnar is going to be either going to open Saturday or open Sunday. I think it's going to be one of the openers.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
You could see maybe Rhea and the way they're doing that match, that could open one of the nights too. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Put the big stars out there, and ain't too many bigger stars than Rhea. So that makes sense. Couple other things real quick. We'll get out of here, guys. The rumor going on, and I know this Saturday on AAA, they've done said that he's going to confront Penta. Vicino is going to challenge him for the title, for the Intercontinental title. And there's rumors going around it's going to be Penta and Vicino at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. Vakino's a hell of a wrestler, and they'd probably put on one hell of a show. Big Glenn, what do you think about that?
I would love to see that. I've seen Vakino a few times already, in the past year, and we know he can work. So
Is Vakino one of the guys from AAA?
yeah, he's the one dude that wrestled Dom in the AAA main event last summer.
Okay. I know who you're talking about now.
Okay.
I haven't seen him much, but I know who you're talking about.
And,
No, I think that'd be great. What are they going to do with Dom? Are they going to have Dom go after? Are they going? I know they're doing something with him and Ballard, but are they? You think they're going to have him go after one of the other titles? I mean,
here's the rumor that I'm hearing that it's going to be Finn Balor and Dom for Dom's AAA Mega Championship at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That would make sense, man. You putting over AAA. I mean,
that'd be a good match.
It'd be a good idea,
After that, after Mania, do you think Dom will go into one of the other titles, other title pictures?
I think him and Finn's going to battle for a while. Then I don't know where you go from there. I don't know if does Dom stay healed? Does he? I mean, I don't know where they're going with this for sure.
I think right now you got to keep him heel. He's one of the best heels they have right now.
Yeah, I agree.
He'll get cheered outside of Allegiant Stadium in about 3 weeks, like last year. So,
and another reason why I think the AAA stuff makes sense to feature that AAA in a couple different ways because they're in Vegas. I mean, they're close to that part of the country, and you may draw a lot of people. May come to the show.
They signed that deal a year ago.
And you own AAA, so
yes.
Why not promote? Why not promote one of your other companies? Like,
yep.
Ain't no different when we bring some of the NXT women and guys up.
Absolutely,
it's the same thing. You bring same thing they're doing with the what is it, TNA or whatever. Using some of it's great. It helps both companies. Like, it's helping WWE with WrestleMania, but it's also helping their other business of AAA because people that's never heard of AAA or watched any AAA are going to hear it. They're going to see the title and maybe a couple times because if you have Vakino, he's from AAA, so that's him. And then if you have Mysterio defending a AAA title, like right there's 2 times at WrestleMania that AAA is going to get talked about, and you have millions and millions of people are watching. How many of the millions of people have never heard of AAA?
Yeah, and on the biggest stage ever too. And the fact that you can watch AAA on YouTube for free, so in a lot of places. So that's big. So yeah, I think it's a smart move on their part if they go that route.
Hey Tony, I got a little caveat for the end of the show here for us. It's similar to what Marcus has done so far with this week in trivia, whatever and stuff. 25 years ago today, Vince and Shane set up their WrestleMania thing with Shane buying WCW.
Yep, I seen that on Facebook today. Yep, you're right.
It's crazy how it falls on today, because we got the show today.
And one other quick story I had down and I missed it. It was announced kind of last week or early this week that Tony Storm is going to be out for the rest of 2026. And they said it's not injury related. A lot of rumors going around that she might be pregnant. They've not came out and said that's the case yet. But I thought that was interesting, that she was supposed to have a match last Wednesday and that got pulled Wednesday morning. So, I don't know exactly what happened, but they said it's no injuries.
Yeah, that would signal pregnancy because we've seen it before with Naomi getting pulled at the last minute, and Becky Lynch's I think it was a Money in the Bank reign during COVID, that summer. So both of those situations took place at the very, very last minute, so I can highly see that being a possibility. And I did see also as well that they said when Tony comes back, if Britt Baker's still on the roster, that she might have been the one that took her out.
I don't think Toni Storm's ever going to wrestle for them again.
I hope Toni Storm goes back to WWE.
Yeah.
She didn't like WWE. She didn't like, well, for one thing, Vince was there, and Vince was very tough on the ladies, wanting to change what they did, and she hated it there. And it was ran a lot different now, which I think she would be more. She probably would like it better, but she can get what she wants in AEW. Khan will pay her. Tony Khan is in love with her, thinks she's fantastic, and she's solid. She's good. I mean, she's put on some good matches since she's been there. She's got a great character. So, yeah, hey, more power to her, man. Make that money. Well, guys, that's all I've got for this week for Face or Heel. You guys got anything before we get out of here?
I do not, and hopefully our guy Justin is doing just fine with that tornado that's going through up there. So.
Yeah, Purdue and Texas tied at 58 with 10 minutes left, and you also have Iowa and Nebraska tied at 50 with 14 minutes left. So if you're a college basketball fan, you got two good games that could come down to the wire going on right now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Great games going on right now.
And if you want to know some stuff about that, we'll be on with Gonzo Sports Room in just a little bit at 10 o'clock. And we'll be talking about the men's tournament going on. We're also going to talk about the women's Sweet 16. We're going to be talking about Major League Baseball. We'll be talking about the Reds taking it on the chin today. We're going to make our picks for each division, who we think is going to win each division in Major League Baseball. We're going to talk a little bit of NASCAR and IndyCar, and also got a little thing with the NFL, a little segment with the NFL. If Justin is on, he may have a little trivia for us. We'll have a big show at 10 o'clock with Gonzo Sports Room. Join us, please, then. And, hey, everybody, have a great night. We appreciate you guys watching. And, hey, subscribe and hit those likes, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, the Reds disappointed me today.
Had opportunities.
They had plenty of chances to win that game and didn't take advantage of it. But we'll see you guys here in about an hour for GSR Gonzo Sports Room. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. And we'll see you guys later.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
Here, this is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on.